For more than 3 decades, New Hampshire Motor Speedway has been one of NASCAR's most demanding proving grounds. The 1-mile oval may look simple on paper, but its signature paperclip layout has humbled some of the biggest names in stock car racing. Long straightaways funnel drivers into 2 flat, unforgiving corners where every braking point, every throttle application, and every inch of racetrack can make the difference between getting a position or losing several. Success at the Magic Mile requires more than speed, demands patience, precision, and discipline. Drivers must protect the brakes, maximize forward drive off the corners, and remain mistake-free for every lap. Here, victories aren't simply won, they're earned. From NASCAR's biggest stars to the next generation of rising talent, New Hampshire has hosted countless memorable battles over the years. Tonight, another chapter ready to be written. Last week at Iowa Speedway, Corey Bigley broke through with a statement victory, carrying plenty of momentum into New England. But one win guarantees nothing at a place like this. On the Magic Mile, yesterday's celebration quickly gives way to today's challenge, where every driver in the field has the same goal: leave Loudon with a trophy. The PSRA Truck Series rolls into New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where strategy, determination, and raw speed will collide over 150 laps of relentless competition. Every restart matters, every position to be contested, and when the checkered flag waves, only one driver will add their name to the growing legacy of winners. The road to victory begins now. The Musket 150 starts right now. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I'm Steve Singer, joined in the broadcast booth by Zach Millett. How we doing, Zach?
Steve, how we doing, man?
We're doing well up here in New England. Going to have ourselves some lobster here at Macris Steak and Seafood here pretty soon. I'm pretty sure of that. But
oh yeah,
racing about to get underway here for the Musket 150. Going to be a fun one here tonight. Not a track that we broadcast a ton at, but the PSRA Truck Series making a stop here up in Loudon, New Hampshire tonight. Let's get into the race details for tonight's event. 150 laps the distance, stage break at lap 35, a 75% fuel load on board, 3 sets of tires over the wall, no fast repairs, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if we need it. Weather-wise, we're 82, 35% humidity. It's a beautiful day for a race. Cloudy skies, likely to get a little cloudier here as the race goes on. 9-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp, though, that's a big one. 112 degrees Fahrenheit, Zach. That's going to cause some handling issues here tonight. We'll see if that cloud cover kind of drops that temperature and kind of gets things a little bit quicker around the speedway.
Oh man, I hope so. That'll make it fun to watch, that's for sure.
Practice wrapping up here at New Hampshire. A little over a minute left in this session. Bobby Hamilton Jr. the fastest. Then it's Drew Blaze, Will Jones, Frank Griffith, and it looks like Chris Mathis back behind the wheel here tonight in the number 54. In the 2. Mathis, a longtime driver here from the Superior Class Auto Racing days. We'll see what Chris has in store for the field tonight. He's always been quick.
Oh, yeah. I actually raced with Chris a lot over in the official side of things, and yeah, he's fast everywhere you go, man.
So, Zach, as we said, not a track that we do a ton of broadcasting at throughout the leagues that run in iRacing. PSRA Truck Series, certainly not afraid of a challenge, but what are some of the challenges with this place, Zach? It's not really a short track, but it kind of acts like a short track, a mile in length, pretty flat corners, high speeds down the straightaway. What do you target, at least race-wise, to take care of the truck over the course of the long run?
Well, that's just it, Steve. It's hard to go fast and save your stuff, but you really have to manage your right side tire wear here, especially that right rear. Especially if you're beside somebody, as we see on the screen right there, it's easy to get back on that gas a little bit too much, kick the truck out, and lose control. So if you can manage not only that right front, but the right rear, it's going to be huge here. Their throttle control on exit, that's the key, Steve.
Some of the familiar names at the top of the charts tonight likely going to be good at that this evening. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Drew Blaze, Will Jones, Mathis. You got Brian Rose, Vincent Short back in action here tonight. David Bradford, 9th quick. A lot of those guys will be good at taking care of tires, though Bradford said he's not a big fan of this place. We'll see what kind of race result the driver of that Crown Royal Black machine can throw in this evening. Will Jones on the speedway first, it looks, in qualifying. We'll see what kind of time he can lay down in this qualifying session. Couple of stream chatters. Vincent Short says, long time, no fellas. I think Short's already into the hooch tonight, but either way, glad to see you back behind the wheel, Vince. Obviously, Vincent Short, a longtime member from back in the Superior Class auto racing days. He was there long before even I showed up. Runs something, I think, almost every night of the week, Zach.
Yeah, he's always shooting a link up into our Track Bar Media chat, and it's awesome to jump in there and watch him race. He does more racing than I think all of us.
So Will Jones on the clock here as he traverses the back straightaway here in Loudon, New Hampshire. Ooh, real wide up the racetrack here. Is he throwing his first lap away, you think, Zach, or was that a mistake?
I don't know. It looked like he bombed it in there pretty good, but his exit really didn't suffer much.
30.921 first lap for Will Jones. We'll stick with the 46 here and see if lap 2's any quicker. Mike Fahey's first lap, second quick. Griffith third. Vincent Short up to P4. Peyton Wagoner goes P1, and quickly Stephen Luttrell goes top of the chart. 30.702, the time to beat for Will Jones, and Will way up the racetrack in 3 and 4 again.
Yeah, I think that was a little higher than he wanted to go that time.
Second lap in the books for Will Jones. He goes second quick, picks up the pace, 30.885. Now to Peyton Wagoner. Was third quick, 30.909. We'll see if the 8 machine can be faster when he comes off turn number 4. Hammers down to the front stretch. A little slower, 31.631. So Stephen Luttrell top of the charts as Drew Blaze will take to the Speedway. Blaze a 31.13 his first lap, just inside the top 10. So still fastest, the 36 of Stephen Luttrell. Luttrell's been quick on the short tracks, not just here, as Drew Blaze goes P2. Doesn't have enough for the 36. It really gives you an idea of the lap time that the 36 threw down. Now Brian Rose will take the green flag. Luttrell been running races on the short tracks in the late model stock in the 4-wide motorsport series that just wrapped up recently. Ooh, a little loose on exit for Brian. That's going to kill this lap.
Now, if Brian was smart, he'd probably just wash up high here in the entry of 3 to get a better run to the line, but it looks like he's going to enter a little low. Definitely puts the pressure on Steve when you kind of make a mistake on your first lap. That second lap is everything. We see Brian run real high in 1 and 2 there.
Well, like you were saying, Zach, in his case, that mistake off turn 2 on lap 1, you really just, at that point, have to decide to throw it all away. Use that real wide arc in turns 3 and 4 to get some straightaway speed for your second lap. It washes up the track again. It seems to be a common theme so far tonight in qualifying.
We're going to have to get on our logo department there to fix that quarter panel graphic there for Brian.
Rose throws in a top 10 starting position, 30.949 on lap 2. Last week's winner now, Corey Bigley with a 5-star bodies, number 58 machine. 17th on his first lap. We'll see if he can pick it up. Usually Bigley pretty decent here on these short tracks. We'll see what he can do on lap 2. Six quick, 30.817 for Mr. Bigley, as we got less than a minute in the session. Chris Klein now trying to beat a 31.13 his first lap time, and I think he's going to go one and done here. Klein going to come back to pit road and start deep in the field. Handful of drivers haven't taken the time. Austin Grewell, Ken Couch, Chris Mathis, Mark Truxell, and Chris Lannis. Now Rodney Roberts with 30 seconds left in the session. Does he have time? Roberts didn't get an official first lap in, or did he? No, not yet. So I don't know if he's going to have time, Zach. We're running out, 10 seconds left in the session. He's halfway down the backstretch.
Yeah, he's not going to get it in. It looked like he was trying to kind of get back into it quick there off 2. Got a little loose anyway.
And that'll do it.
Nope.
Stephen Luttrell, fastest in qualifying by almost a quarter second. Or 25 thousandths for that matter. So let's get to our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 30.702 seconds. It's the number 36 from Luttrell Racing, Stephen Luttrell. Outside front row, missed it by 22 thousandths of a second. It's a 65 of Keenan Kimber with a solid front row starting spot. Row 2, it's Drew Blaze and Bobby Hamilton Jr. In the third row, David Bradford, and last week's winner, Corey Bigley. Row 4, Josh Ingram and Will Jones. Row 5, Peyton Wagoner and Brian Rose from Track Bar Motorsports. Starting in the 11th position, it's the 24 JB and Autosport driver Cameron Hageman. Mike Fahey will start to his outside in 12th. 13th goes to Dominic Bettini. 14th, Frank Griffith. 15th starter, it's Alan DeFries. 16th, Chris Klein. 17th belongs to Vincent Short. Jason Steptoe, 18th. In the 19th position from JB and Autosport as well, it's the 7 of Matt Nicholson. Rodney Roberts didn't get a lap in. He'll start 20th. Austin Grewell, 21st. 22nd, Chris Lannis. Ken Couch rolls off in the 23rd position with Mark Truxell in 24th. Shotgun on the field is the 2 of Chris Mathis. Now, Mathis did join this session as a driver. I know in the past he's been a race admin. We'll see if he actually takes the green here tonight. It's your starting grid for the Musket 150. Race 6 of the 4th season of the PSRA Truck Series. About to get things underway.
Yeah, see, the 2 truck hasn't grid yet. So you might be onto something there, Steve.
Corey Bigley and Chris Klein switching over to Lone Star Motorsports, a new team for those 2 drivers. We'll have to get that updated here pretty soon. Hopefully have that squared away in our overlay system before next week. Speaking of next week, Watkins Glen International, the road course. I got to travel for work. I'll be down in the D.C. metro area for the week, but we're going to tape delay that one because, well, Zach, you know how I am about the Glen. We just can't not cover that. So it'll be on a tape delay. We'll still get the action covered for everybody, but that is the game plan.
Heck yeah, I'm not going to want to miss that one.
Well, Zach, welcome back to the booth. It's been a little while. You got a pick tonight?
Oh, man. I was eyeballing that 2 truck, but looks like he missed the grid. So let's, I'm going to kind of fall back on tire conservation here. And I know David Bradford's usually pretty darn good at it. So I'm going to just roll with that 13 truck, I think.
Well, I'm going to go with a guy who's got a win here from a driver that's really not a fan of the place. He beat Bobby Hamilton Jr. to do it in seasons past. The Track Bar Media driver, that would be the 89 F-150 of Brian Rose to victory lane tonight. Pace car to pit lane, ready to get this underway. Field off turn number 4. There it is. Green flag waves, and we're racing in New England. Steve Luttrell hangs out at the top spot into turn 3. Keenan Kimber a close second, but a battle with Bobby Hamilton Jr. contesting that position. Bobby was alongside for a moment, but settles in behind the 65. Luttrell will lead lap number 1.
A little bit of a blink there for Keenan Kimber that last time out of 4. Hopefully that doesn't continue. That's pretty scary here on the short track.
We have seen it a bit out of the 65 over the last couple of seasons. It's cleaned up a little bit, but not perfect as of yet. But Kimber with some pace, takes a look to the inside at turn number 3 here on Luttrell. Thought about going for that race lead, but now Bobby Jr. will wrap around the outside, looking for the second spot.
Got Colt Ansley in the chat saying Will Jones is going to be a good pick. I feel like he's always a good pick.
As long as he doesn't have the bad luck. Unfortunately, that Will Jones machine has been plagued by a lot of that bad luck over the course of the season. Hopefully that kind of remedies itself. He's fast just about everywhere we go.
Ooh. Couple trucks out of show. Big wreck out of 2 there.
I think it might be Chris Lannis is around off turn 2. No caution.
Wow, that's impressive. There's like 8 different sets of skid marks and everybody's pointed straight. That's impressive.
You see Colt Ansley in the chat, not in the race here tonight. Colt's been dealing with some family issues. Last I talked to him, though, it sounded like it was all positive family issues. I'll leave it to him to divulge any more additional information, but certainly wishing Colt and his family the best.
Wish you the best, bud.
Good field of trucks here tonight in New Hampshire. It's not a track I expected to see a huge turnout, but we got a solid field of 24 trucks competing for the victory here tonight.
I love it. Love to see it on a short track. It's fun to watch. I'm thinking we're going to get to about lap 15. We're going to start seeing the tires kind of come out and play and see who's been kind of going easy and who's going hard.
We'll say Steve Luttrell looks sharp here at the front of the field. These two behind him battling for the second spot, but Bobby Hamilton Jr. unable to dispose of the 65 of Kimber. Once again will settle in behind a truck length and a half off the tailgate of the Bojangles machine as they roll back into turns 3 and 4. Again, stage break coming in about lap 35. If the caution waves prior to that for an incident on the speedway within, I believe, 5 laps, they will count that as the stage break. So now a battle for the lead here is Luttrell under fire from Keenan Kimber. Kimber got alongside in the middle of 3 and 4, but the run out of the corner, able to put the power down, is Stephen Luttrell. He'll hang on to that top spot. The inside, Keenan Kimber going after him again, but same story. Can get up to the driver's door of the 36 machine of Luttrell, but can't complete it, but keeps it there down the straightaway. Might have an opportunity into turn 1.
He did a much better job on the exit of 4 there.
Side by side out of turn number 2. It's Luttrell, Kimber. Kimber may have to settle back in, but had a decent run down the back. May really have a good opportunity here into turn 3. Turned down a little too soon, gets all the way down to the apron of the racetrack. Maybe searching for some grip, or maybe he knows something that we don't. Zach, is that something you've tried in the past?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's grip down there, both ends, if you can believe it.
Racetrack kind of evolving into what it was in years past. Guys always clip the apron, at least on the exit of turn 2. Luttrell holds off the charge from Keenan Kimber. Bobby Jr. put some pressure on the 65 during that exchange, but able to hold off is the 65. Jr. still back in the 3rd spot. Drew Blaze 4th, down a position. Will Jones, though, Cole Ansley said that'd be a good pick. He's up 3 spots into P5 already. I want to get a call to Mike Fahey here, running in the 8th position. He's already up 4 spots in just the opening 12 laps. Number 19 making his way towards the front as he works alongside the number 19. That is Mike Fahey. He's to the outside of Peyton Wagoner in the 8. Meanwhile, up front, battle for the second spot again is Bobby Jr. looking to the outside on Keenan Kimber. Zach, is this place just difficult to make passes? I mean, it's a two-groove track, especially once it gets rubbered in, but you really need to have the perfect setup, I think, at least if you're going to try and make it pass on the inside, because that outside lane always just seems to carry so much more exit speed.
Yeah, and it's hard on the inside because it's hard to judge where that truck on the outside is. If you have triples, it's a little easier to kind of stay close to them, but you want to use as much exit as you possibly can.
So Kimber will lose second to Bobby Jr. and quickly loses third to Will Jones. Move the 65 truck back to P4. Will Jones continuing to march forward, now up 5 positions.
Definitely going the right direction. Looks strong out there tonight.
So Zach, got to pick your brain a little bit. 35 laps is our opening stage here. It's the only stage break we have in this series. What is your approach in races that have a stage break, especially in this case where there's really only one break? Do you go out and just hammer down as hard as you can early on, see what the truck's capable of, see what the stress points are of the tires, or do you just kind of take it easy until it's time for that break?
Yeah, it kind of depends on what's over the wall. If I have a bunch of tires over that wall, I know I can just sprint it out, start to finish of that first stage, and like you said, go hard and see the limitations and see what the truck's like in traffic. You know, kind of the things that you can't really see as well in practice. But if you have plenty of tires, yeah, go hard. Go hard enough to not burn your stuff up, but hard enough to keep your track position.
Battle for second now. Will Jones sneaks to the inside of Bobby Hamilton Jr., slides up the racetrack about half a groove, maybe more. I don't know for certain. It looks like they may have traded a little bit of side-by-side paint. No real harm there as Jones now swaps over. Bobby Jr. a crossover. Will get back to the bottom and try to retake that second spot. Chris Fahey in the chat says, thanks for showing him. I was apparently watching the wrong truck. Worst mom ever. It's okay, Chris. I think I was doing the same thing. I thought Peyton Wagoner was Fahey's paint scheme at the time, but he's actually in a Busch Light scheme tonight. Great battle for position. More contact between Jones and Hamilton.
Ooh, that was a tight entry there. Looked like the 46 tried to turn down a little sooner than what Bobby was thinking, and to see Bobby get loose off too there.
It's going to allow Will Jones to stretch it out here, and will open up an opportunity for Corey Bigley to take the third spot around the outside. Corey should have a run here on exit, but will Bobby wash up? Gets clear on exit. Really thought the 58 would have a bit more of a run there, especially it's kind of a progressive banked track at this place, Zach. That just above that second lane from the bottom, it's a little bit higher banking through there than it is on the low side. You find that that transition upsets the handling at all?
Yeah, if you enter it on the bottom side and kind of wash across these seams, you can definitely feel it in the wheel. It definitely tries to upset the truck.
Change for the top spot. Will Jones sneaks down to the inside on Stephen Luttrell. Will take over the race lead. Lap 21, new leader here at New Hampshire.
Man, I'm telling you, Steve, Will made that pass look pretty easy. He cleared him before the exit of 4 and didn't even move up. He just kind of left him some extra room, and I don't know, that truck looks hooked up right now.
Will Jones quickly out to about a 4/10 advantage over Stephen Luttrell, but here comes Corey Bigley, last week's winner at Iowa, quickly making his way towards the front himself and alongside the second place machine off turn number 2. I don't know, Zach. I think Will's going to have company here in a couple of laps. Last lap for Bigley, a half-tenth quicker than the leader.
You read my mind there. We'll see what the next couple look like, but yeah, they're both looking pretty quick here. They're pulling away from the rest of the field.
Will Jones finding some speed here down off of turn 4. Stretches it to almost a half second now over Bigley. Not sure if the 58 had a mistake. Bigley was still quicker that last time across start finish by about 600ths of a second. Very evenly matched. It's going to be difficult to complete a pass when they're so close together pace-wise. Well, prime example, Zach. Cream rises to the top, and these top 2 drivers have started to separate themselves from everybody else. So we got a change for the 3rd spot between Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Steve Luttrell. Steve pushed it hard early on and now starting to fall off the pace and real loose off turn number 2. Hangs on to it.
Ooh, that was a good catch. You see Keenan kind of react to him.
Battle for the lead. Bigley alongside Jones. Closed the gap considerably in just a lap or so. But down the straightaway, Jones will have the horsepower into turn 1. Sunshine starting to peak out here in New Hampshire. We'll see what that does to the handling. Now, tires are starting to go away in a lot of these drivers' trucks. A lot of them you see stepping out on corner exit, loose on exit for many of them. Even the fast guys. We saw Corey Bigley a lap or 2 ago. Stepped out on him just a touch.
Yeah, let's see that sun come out and bump it up another 20 degrees. That'll make things pretty interesting.
Track temperature right now, it's about 10 degrees cooler than when we came on air, 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Back to the bottom. Good run for Bigley on the low side of the track. He may have him here. No, maybe not. Jones with a run and loose again for Bigley, and he's up the track. A little bit of contact to the race leader, and the caution comes out. In the path of Keenan Kimber and David Bradford. Stephen Luttrell also gets a big chunk of this. And disaster on the backstretch here at lap 27.
That's what we were saying pre-race there, Steve, about that exit of turn 4 and how hard it is to make that pass on the bottom.
Stephen Luttrell fast on the short run for certain. Pole sitter here tonight showing some right front damage on his number 36. David Bradford getting a chunk of this also. Front end damage on the number 13. I'll take a look at it. Back it up a little bit more here and kind of watch this unfold here. Bigley was going for the race lead. Just lost the back of the truck, a little tank slap, tiny bit of contact to Will Jones, but up in traffic and gets drilled by Kimber, drilled by Bradford, and Stephen Luttrell gets a big chunk of it, but Luttrell gets a bigger piece of the inside safer barrier after that. Almost got through.
And you know, he was just thinking too, if I go way down here, there's no way I'm going to get collected, and it's just terrible luck. Well, that's going to be quite a bit of damage for those guys. It's going to be really tough to get that fixed here under caution. It's not that long of a pace lap.
Keenan Kimber will come down. He took a lot of damage in that one. Well, Zach, this really shuffles the deck here tonight. Some of the fastest drivers we had in contention, at least earlier on in this race, involved in this crash. Likely some out of the race at this point. Will Jones, though, who's been lightning quick, might have had a tiny bit of damage on the left rear. It looks okay. Now it'll be him and Bobby Hamilton Jr. on the restart.
Green flag.
Will Jones fired out of a cannon here, 3/10 as they get off turn number 2 over Bobby Hamilton Jr., Peyton Wegener, Brian Rose, Chris Klein, your new top 5. Kimber Roberts out of this race.
And hate to see it.
Not sure what happened to Rodney Roberts. His incident lap 13. I don't know if he had a connection problem. I don't see any indication as to what happened to the number 28 truck, but nevertheless. Chris Klein, Mike Fahey. Big block from the 51. It didn't really slow the progression of Fahey. We got one truck in the wall, the 7 of Matt Nicholson, and I think Mark Truxell may have gotten into the back as well.
Just looked like nowhere to go for Truxell there.
So this will ultimately serve as our stage caution. Lap 33, the yellow back out for the second time. Oh, Jason Steptoe just drives it in deep, gets into the back of Nicholson. He slides up the track, hard backwards impact into the safer barrier. And really nothing that Truxell could have done there. He could have maybe tried and turned down, but it's easier said than done. Contact is made. So pit road open. Mike Fahey, though, made his pit stop on the last caution, which was just a lap or so ago. He stays out on the track, will inherit the race lead. Everybody else going to come down and pit.
Man, that's a great move by Mike Fahey. You know, he only had a lap or two on those new tires.
It's heads up racing for the driver of that number 19 machine. He'll stay out here. One lap or so isn't going to make or break the day, at least not at this stage of the race. Again, our stage caution effectively here with a caution for cause at the same time. That's kind of one of the rules they've adapted here. If the caution comes out within 5 laps of the planned stage break, they will count that as such rather than throw another yellow or extend the caution. I think NASCAR could learn a thing or two about this.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Not to mention not run 50 laps under caution.
Well, there's that. Got to get that spring rubber off the track.
Yeah.
Cole Ansley said there's more damage in Jones's underwear than that truck. Yeah, I'd say that's a safe bet.
Yeah, he lucked out big time there.
Definitely a Code Brown moment for the 46. So again, new colors on the number 19 this week. Seems like Fahey's got a new paint scheme every race. They all look good, though.
Yeah, Fahey race wraps. They never disappoint. You know, always coming out with some good stuff.
So it'll be Mike Fahey and Vincent Short on the front row for the restart. Then it's Dominic Bettini, Will Jones in the second row. Then Bobby Hamilton Jr., Brian Rose in row number 3.
Green flag.
Mike Fahey out to a big advantage, 0.6 of a second over Short and Bettini. Zach, does that have something to do with maybe he had a lap on those tires that kind of got heated up? Is that a bit of an advantage, or was there just not enough time for it to matter?
Man, that's what it seems like, but I wouldn't think there's that much time for it to matter. But maybe he just got a really good shot out of the cannon there. Once that green flag, he didn't wait. He just hit it good.
Short hanging on to the second spot, but here comes Will Jones in third around Dominic Bettini off turn number 2. Big run for the 46. He'll get clear of the 49, so move Jones back to the third spot.
And I wonder, Steve, with how fast Will Jones was on the long run, that first 35 laps, I bet you he's just gonna be patient here and take his time and get up here.
No sense to burn him off. As we said, we're very early on in the running here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. 39 laps up on the board. Just finished up our stage break. Sunshine starting to peek back out. We'll take a quick check of the track temp. 95 degrees. It's cooled down considerably, Zach. Remember, 112 at the start of qualifying.
Time to loosen these trucks up then.
Will Jones just running the fastest lap of the race, 2 laps in a row. It was a 30.57, now runs a 30.36. No, he's not taking his time at all, Zach.
He's going. He just wants to get up there to that clean air. But man, I mean, Mike Fahey and Will Jones are both pulling away from the field here.
Never thought to see that clean air would be that big of a deal here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, but it's definitely playing a part. These trucks punching such a large hole in the air. I guess you could say the air is dirtier behind a NASCAR truck versus anything else.
I think that's a good move by Fahey right there. He sees Will coming. He sees the pace difference each and every lap. Just kind of falling behind Will here. Maybe see what he's doing, you know, run the line that he's running and keep that lead over P3. That was close.
Almost ran in the back of the 46, but yeah, I was just going to say the same thing, Zach. Mike Fahey certainly not too proud to try and learn something behind a faster driver. Problem is trying to keep up and see him long enough to learn anything. Will Jones now out to a half-second plus over Mike Fahey. Bobby Hamilton Jr. running in the third spot. Then it's Peyton Wagoner, Vincent Short, the top 5. Short's biggest mover so far. Started deep in the field in 17th. Was able to get up to that front row after the caution. Some attrition throughout the field, but it's hanging tough there in the top 5. Brian Rose still in the 6th position. Some familiar names here if you've been following, well, Holler Boys Racing TV or Superior Class Auto Racing, which became Track Limits Network and the PSRA Truck Series over the years. Some veterans here in the series battling it out for the 5th spot. Brian Rose will take a look to the inside in 1. Good pass for the 89. Gets clear nice and smooth around Vincent Short, so move Rose up back to the top 5.
It is like old times seeing those two trucks side by side.
Battle for the 2nd spot. Bobby Jr. alongside Mike Fahey down the main straightaway. Sets him up into 1. Will take the spot with ease. And I think you're right, Zach. I think Fahey just kind of gauges how quickly he's being caught. Not willing to burn the tires off to try and defend the position. Again, still early. No need to put yourself behind the 8 ball because you burned off the tires fighting for a position you were ultimately going to lose anyway.
Yeah, and I forget where Mike was before that last caution, before the stage. But I mean, even if he falls back to P5, I feel like that's still a really good strategy and a good pit call for him.
Short starting to shed some positions. Bettini now alongside. Fastest car on the racetrack the last time was the 25. Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the second spot as he's trying to run down Will Jones. We'll see this time across the line, it's the same story. Bobby is faster, but not by much. 1/100th of a second, so pretty evenly matched trucks here in the top two. Mike Fahey ran a 31:30, 4/10 of a second slower than the leaders. So I don't know if Fahey's just saving his stuff at this point, but he's going to lose another spot here to Peyton Wagoner in a moment. Brian Rowe's got to be loving the battle. He's watching out the windshield here. It's allowing him to close the gap slightly on these two. Last lap for Rowe is at 31:15, about 3/10 quicker than Wagoner and 4/10 quicker than Mike Fahey. Cole Ansley in the chat says, keep an eye on Bobby Hamilton Jr. He hates this place, but he's always good at places he doesn't like. He's won a bush race here in the past. That's kind of the same reason we were watching Brian Rose. Again, this is a place he's not a big fan of at all, but he did pick up a victory here over Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the SCAR series back in the day.
It is kind of funny how drivers usually do better at tracks that they hate running.
Well, I don't know, Zach, you tell me your opinion on it. I feel like if you're at a track you don't expect to run well at, it kind of takes the pressure off. You just kind of race the racetrack, kind of take the chips as they fall.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I know if I go to Talladega or Daytona, I just want it over. Quicker the better.
Yeah, the other thing with you, though, you've gotten better on those super speedways over the years. I remember a time where you would dominate on an intermediate track, but you could barely finish a super speedway. But as of late, you've been able to pick up a win or two here in some of these league races.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think back then I was just trying to be safe. You know, I'd go to a place like that, not liking the track to begin with, but just trying to stay in the back and be safe, and that's where I always ended up dying.
Got to stay away from the squirrels.
Yeah, squirrels everywhere.
Josh Ingram to the bottom here on Vincent Short. He'll narrowly get clear off turn number 4, so move Ingram to 7th. Short continuing to lose some spots, but again, he's still to the good here. He started 17th and he runs 8th, so not a bad showing so far for the return of Vincent Short. Chris Klein running there in the 9th position. Steven Luttrell still on the lead lap, was able to get repairs effected on that Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, running inside the top 10. Day is not over by any stretch for the 36 as he battles with Frank Griffith for that 10th position.
Boy, that's impressive, too, for how hard of a hit he took in that truck. I thought that truck was total.
And no fast repair here tonight, so the fact they got that thing looking as clean as it is, that's impressive. I'm sure it's not perfect. He loses a spot here to Frank.
Been watching these lap times up front here, Steve. I think Colt was onto something. Hamilton is quicker the last time by, but even when he's not faster, he's right there with Will Jones's pace. So I'm thinking maybe Bobby kind of learned those first 35 laps through an adjustment in that truck, and it woke that thing up.
Bobby a little slower the last time by, but a 10th plus quicker the previous lap. We'll watch it again one more time. Faster still, almost a 10th quicker for Bobby yet again. It's the deficit 1.4. As Bobby Jr. starts to chip away at the lead that Will Jones has over him right now.
just makes you wonder how hard Bobby's driving that truck to keep that pace. We know Will is up there, and we know he's already fast on the long run. If he's just kind of going on cruise control here and making that lap time, then it's going to be harder for Bobby to kind of keep with him.
Let's go on board with Bobby Jr., see how aggressive he's approaching a lap here at Loudon.
Bobby's doing a little searching here, Steve.
Got a little loose on him on the exit of turn 4 the last lap, chasing up the racetrack a little bit.
That first lap, he was kind of middle to high on entry both ends, and he kind of went to the opposite, kind of middle to low. I think he's trying to search to see what lane makes that truck the happiest for him.
Brian Rose continuing to show some pace here in New Hampshire as he runs down Peyton Wagoner. This will be for the 3rd spot. So Brian finding some pace here in the later stages of this run. A little bit faster than the 8. Just has to find a way around.
And I tell you, a podium finish for Brian Rose would be huge for him. He took a pretty long break from iRacing, so for him to jump back on and I know he's been putting in some serious practice to get back on pace, and he definitely looks good tonight.
Brian Rose at a minimum here, a technical alliance with Bradford Aero Works. Might even be a full-fledged teammate at this point, so setup's going to be relatively similar. But curious to see as David Bradford running in the 19th position here right now. He's still technically on the lead lap for at least a little while longer. Brian Rose, though, showing some pace. Back out front, Will Jones now 1.8 plus ahead of Bobby Hamilton Jr. You said it earlier here, Zach, that Will Jones gets a little bit quicker later on in the run, and that seems to be the case. Maybe not necessarily quicker, but the truck just isn't falling off as much as everybody else.
Yeah, and I like what I see with Will Jones here, too. He's running the same line every time. That tells me he's put a lot of laps in. He knows what the truck's going to do, short and long run. He just looks smooth. He doesn't look like he's driving under pressure at all.
Mike Fahey running in the 5th spot. Dominic Bettini trying to steal it away. Taking a look at the pit strategies here. We went 34 laps on the first run for many of these drivers. Again, some opted to pit during the caution, some didn't. But we've been under the green flag now for, I believe, 34 laps. 29 laps. Remember, Fahey did not pit during the last caution, so a 75% fuel load with these trucks. Not sure what the fuel window actually is. Colt, I know you've been busy. If you know, let us know. If not, no worries. Just kind of curious as we continue to run deeper into this green flag run. Just wondering if we're going to start to see an opportunity for some green flag stops in the near future.
Boy, I don't know the last time I actually got to watch green flag pit stops at New Hampshire, Steve. I think it's been a long time.
Only 2 cautions to speak of so far here this afternoon. Cole Ansley thinking the same thing. He jumped into the chat as I was talking about it. He says, Will and Bobby's biggest problems as of late have been pit road. So we'll see what happens with those two. We say it so often, Zach, don't beat yourself, especially when you got the pace that the 46 and the 25 have. Interval between Jones and Hamilton shrinking yet again, 1.3 seconds down from 1.8 just a handful of laps ago. Bobby Hamilton Jr. now is going to need to make short work of Jason Steptoe if he wants to continue marching forward. Steptoe keeps it real low on the racetrack, leaves plenty of room for the 25. Still costs him about a tenth or so in the middle of 1 and 2. Colt says, hopefully Bobby paid his pit crew this week.
Yeah, we're going to find out shortly.
So 17 cars, or trucks for that matter, still on the lead lap. As they run, it's Will Jones, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Peyton Wagoner, Brian Rose, Mike Fahey, the top 5. Dominic Bettini in 6th, Josh Ingram 7th, 8th is Chris Klein, 9th Stephen Luttrell, Frank Griffith the top 10, Austin Grewal 11th, Vincent Short 12th, Drew Blaze 13th, 14th is Ken Couch, 15th Corey Bigley, Chris Lannis is 16th, Alan DeFries in the 17th spot, last car on the lead lap, and if he's not careful, he's going to go down a lap here as he's 28 seconds behind the race leader, which puts him about 3 seconds or so on the racetrack away from getting caught by Will Jones. Jason Steptoe in the number 50 truck. We saw him go down a lap just a few laps ago. He's the first truck 1 lap down. David Bradford 19th, a lap down. Matt Nicholson in 20th, 3 laps down. Brian Rose, Peyton Wagoner still trying to figure this one out. Rose is continuously quicker lap after lap, but has not been able to make the pass on the 8 machine.
Gonna have to see if the 89 truck will choose to maybe short pit the 9 truck and maybe leapfrog him on pit road instead of the track here.
David Bradford said it last week. He's not a big fan of this place either, and unfortunately that does not bode well for him tonight. Caught up in that first caution here tonight. Damaged race truck. He's 19th, a lap down. He's trying to make some laps. He's got 3 wins on the season, so he's got a little wiggle room coming into tonight, but certainly not the afternoon that David Bradford wanted to have.
I know David Bradford definitely doesn't want to see the next car go a lap down. He's going to need a couple cautions.
As they run right now, Steptoe the first car a lap down, Bradford the second. Alan DeFries would be next on the list. Bobby's got it down to about a second now. Just a couple laps shy of halfway here at New Hampshire. Bobby about a half-tenth faster the last time by, so it's just chipping away lap after lap. So Zach, I'll ask you the same thing. I mean, does Bobby have an opportunity here to try to undercut the race leader here, come down and pit before the 46 does, and try to make up some track position that way, or is that not necessarily a great idea given the long run speed of the 46?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You know, 46 does have really good long run speed, but it seems like Bobby's getting it down pretty good himself. So I don't know. It's going to come down to maybe the short run and middle run.
So we're halfway here at Loudon, New Hampshire. We're going to step aside from the Musket 150. We're going to take a quick side-by-side break. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, lap 82 on the board. Will Jones continuing to dominate over Bobby Hamilton Jr., Brian Rose, who finally got clear of Peyton Wagoner for third, Wagoner fourth, Mike Fahey fifth. Deficit back to the 25, 7/10 of a second.
Man, got to mention it again, Steve. Mike Fahey, what a pick call. Still running P5. He's got older tires than everybody.
Yeah, Fahey starting 12th on the night. Strategy just fell his way. Kind of gambled a little bit. Well, pit during this caution, not knowing that that second caution was going to come right back out. But at the same time, maybe it was a general call. I mean, we knew we were going to get a stage caution in lap 35. He just got it a couple of laps sooner than that. But it really has paid off for him.
Thinking we're going to see Mike Fahey probably be the first truck to pit, I would imagine. So he might start this pit cycle.
Which For Fahey, it's kind of an undercut for everybody ahead of him, but it's not necessarily a strategic one. It's forced by the fuel load.
Yeah. Unbelievable pace by the top two trucks tonight, though, man. They're 7 seconds or more ahead of P3. That's some pace, Steve.
Brian Rose, leader in class. Mark Truxell has also taken his truck to the garage after his involvement in that wreck on the back straightaway. So it's Truxell, Kimber, Roberts out of this race. Steven Luttrell on pit road. Luttrell rocking the 9-inch nails decal. Very nice.
Nice touch, nice touch.
Luttrell pulls to his pit box, right side tires going on, Sunoco Racefield going in. It's going to be a 4-tire change for Luttrell. Drops the jack and back into action he goes. Meanwhile, Mike Fahey, as we expected to be one of the earlier drivers to pit, he is on pit road. Down and away, 14:58 as Chris Klein will come down along with Chris Lannis in the 03. So that tire fall off, Zach, it's about 1.5 seconds. New tires to old. Fahey and Luttrell may be able to make up some ground here until everybody else comes down to take their service. Cole Ansley in the chat says, things I never thought I'd say. Bobby, faster than Will on the long run.
Caution is
And the caution comes out.
Hold your position.
Oh, man, right in the
I
cycle.
know, man. I think we need to start putting like an age limit on racing or something, you know?
Not sure who it was.
Oh, there's somebody smoking on the front straightaway there, Steve.
Mike Fahey. Indeed it
Yep.
is.
Oh, man.
Maybe lost the truck exiting pit lane. Fahey with a mechanical black flag. Obviously smoke pouring out the back of that F-150. Had the strategy. Can round file it now. Let's see what happened here at the 19.
Anybody's here to watch Fahey wreck, tune in.
Oh, this can be a big one.
Yeah, that's a huge hit. It's one of those things, Steve. You run so many laps on a set of tires and you go back out on freshies and it can be pretty tricky.
He's kind of straddling that banking transition, too. You were talking about how you kind of feel it in the wheel.
Man.
Will Jones with an issue. I think he's out of gas.
He's out of gas. Where did he qualify, Steve? He must have been up front, right?
8th.
8th, that's better. He might make it.
He's using a starter motor to get there, I think.
Oh, this might be tight.
Mike Fahey in the chat. I'm just here to watch me wreck.
Oh, where is his box, Steve? Oh, there it is. You see the 46. He's another
Few more
2
to go.
boxes away.
Come on, Will. Get it there.
Get in there. Don't go lap down either.
And don't stop short.
Well, actually, this might be pretty close. Leader's coming out of 4 right now, coming to the line. He might go a lap down here, Steve. Oh, it's going to be so tight.
He got it.
He got it. Wow. See if it cycles him ahead of the pace car. It should. Uh-oh, he's slowing down. It's not a good sign. Pace car might have beat him.
I beat the leader, just not the control car, which is the iRacing pace car, so that's bad news for Will Jones. Will he get a wave around, though? I don't know.
He's kind of waiting for one here. But if it's not waving him around by now, I don't like his chances.
Yeah, lights are off on the pace truck or pace car here. I don't know what's the situation here. Might be catching a black flag. He's not
pace
shown
car.
as the leader. He's 13th.
There's some witchcraft here, Steve. I don't know what's happening.
Will Jones starts in front of the leaders here on the restart. Lap 94. Bobby Jr. now the race leader. Peyton Wagoner second. Frank Griffith, Vincent Short, Josh Ingram the top 5. Will Jones running out of fuel as the caution came out. Still no black flag for Will Jones, so something got taken care of. Still a tall order for the 46. He's going to have to make up a lap under green. Pray for a caution. Third place battle here, Josh Ingram, Frank Griffith. Griffith, the U.S. Army, number 54. Both drivers loose off turn 4.
I think something happened to Brian Rose, too. I think he came in P3 at the time of the pit stops there. Showing all the way back into P8 at the moment.
Brian Rose actually made his pit stop at lap 89. The caution pits were lap 91, so Rose able to stay on the lead lap, but lost some track position in that caution. Colt Ansley in the chat says, Winston Cup restart rules, I guess.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. Brian is almost 9 seconds off the leader, too, so I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on here.
Brian maybe got a late wave around would be my guess there, Zach.
Could be.
So the field settling into a long run here, or at least hopefully. Only had 2 cautions, 3 cautions to be specific here this evening, one of which counted for our stage break, so no extra caution, so to speak. Leaders as they run, Bobby Jr., Peyton Wagoner 1 and 2, Josh Ingram there in the 3rd position, then it's Frank Griffith, now Austin Grewell up into the top 5 for the first time to this afternoon. Grewell in the lift kits for less. Ford F-150. Vincent Short, dive bomb down into turn number 3. Will it stick? New tires, both drivers up the racetrack a couple of lanes, but there's plenty of room here in New Hampshire. He takes a spot.
Yeah, nice looking pass for Vince there.
Colt Ansley in the chat again says, this might work out for Bobby. He can sit behind Will and set the pace, and Will can keep his lap. You know what I just heard there, Zach?
A little clutching, maybe?
Not the engine of the F-150. Let's go on board with Drew Blaze. And there it is. Clutch and coast.
We must be pretty close. Which definitely brings in what Colt said. Because Bobby won't have to push as hard. He can just kind of relax behind Will. Maybe save enough gas. I don't know if he's clutching as well, but Drew is definitely on that strategy.
Well, let's look at it this way. 57 laps for the top 4 drivers. I can only imagine Will Jones was probably on the same cycle. So 57 laps on a full tank of fuel. We got the restart. Ooh, yeah, it's going to be close. Lap 93, I think, was the restart. So that would be about 57 laps to the checkered flag if we run it green to the end. So a wise decision for the 9 of Drew Blaze to start saving. He does have some damage on that machine. If you look close there, that right front fender completely gone off that right front tire. But if he can forego one more pit stop, if we run green to the end, he could still salvage a solid finish here. Might even sneak his way to a win. Time will tell. Bobby Jr. still your race leader. Will Jones has fallen back to the 13th spot. If you're just joining us, Will Jones, the dominant truck here tonight, certainly led the most laps so far. We'll see if Bobby Jr. can take that prestige away. But Will Jones just getting ready to make a yellow or green flag pit stop. The caution comes out prior to that happening. Ultimately runs out of fuel before he could get onto pit lane. Had to very slowly coast, maybe use the starter motor to get to his pit box. Just about went a lap down, got out before the leader, not in front of the pace car, restarted in front of Bobby Hamilton Jr. as the last car on the lead lap. So Jones sitting in the 13th position with a monumentous amount of track to run down to get back into contention. If anybody wants a caution here tonight, right now, it's the 46 of Will Jones. Certainly lit a fire underneath Will Jones as he is checked out from Bobby Hamilton Jr. Zach, he's running almost 3/4 of a second quicker than the leader right now.
That's interesting because I don't know. I don't know what. I guess he's kind of just going as hard as he can. He's not really thinking about saving tires. I mean, he probably is pretty mad. I can't say I blame him.
The other side of that, Colt kind of pointed it out earlier. Bobby's in the position now where he can kind of control the pace, and it does seem like that's what's going on here. He's got Peyton Wagoner, Josh Ingram there, second and third. Wagoner was able to get at least a nose alongside the left rear quarter of the 25, and then Bobby just hammers the throttle and drives away. Could this be a fuel strategy for the 25?
It could be, yeah, it could be. I don't know. He definitely looks like he's driving a lot easier than the cars behind him. You can see how straight he is off the exit.
Special note here, it's not a big thing, but it's something. There's $5 on the line for whoever can take the victory here tonight. They also offered up a $5 to win for caution-free last race. I'm just reading the text message from David Bradford here, but caution's certainly out the window here tonight. We've had a few of those already. Peyton Wagoner all over the track there out of 2. Opens the door for Ingram on the outside. Still got a lot of laps left before we can even think about another round of pit stops here, and drivers already starting to lose the tire on that right rear, Zach.
Yeah, it just doesn't take long here. I mean, you can really tell who's driving it hard and who isn't. Oh, 54.
Yeah, Frank Griffin, he's driving it hard.
Nailed it. And meanwhile, Will Jones he's just yelling at guys, come on, put the power to it, get sideways, go fast.
Yeah, Will Jones out there giving bad advice about how to drive this place, hoping someone will spin it around.
Yeah, wide open, whole time.
Jerk the wheel to the right just before turn in. Vincent Short in his return to this series, still running in the top 5. In the 4 spot.
Yellow.
And the yellow comes out. Matt Nicholson, his second time tonight. He's facing the wrong direction. And the racing gods smile on Will Jones. So this takes care of the fuel strategy, and it gets Will Jones back into contention. This is going to be a fun one to watch. The 46 work its way back through the field when we go back to the green. Let's see what happened here to the number 7 machine for the second time tonight. Battling with Steve Luttrell.
See how much earlier the 7's in the gas than the 36, and it's already starting to step out on him here.
Read my mind. Yeah, that is on the flatter portion of the corner. Just a lazy spin for Matt Nicholson, but the caution does come out. So Bobby's going to come down and pit. So will Ingram, Wagoner, Short. Now, this likely a stop just for tires. Obviously, they're going to throw some fuel in it for the weight distribution. But with this caution, I think everybody was safe to get it to the end of the race at this point. So it's just a matter of bolting on some fresh Goodyear tires, getting back after it.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice kind of a short-ish run to the finish, and it's going to be cool to watch too, because these guys probably can throw a short fuel adjustment in their truck and make it even a little more sportier.
Will Jones now gets to his pit box as a lead lap truck.
Well, whatever happened back then at that last caution, it worked out. I mean, at least he didn't go a lap down. He did what he had to do, stay in the lead lap, and at least now he's in it. He's got a chance.
Certainly has an opportunity here to still contend for the win. He's going to have his hands full. He's got work to do. 150 laps the distance tonight. We're on lap 115 right now, so he's going to have to hammer down and go.
He's going to have 10 trucks ahead of him.
Mike Fahey in the chat says, "Hey, Colt, grab another fire extinguisher. My truck is still smoking."
Yeah, there's definitely no mosquitoes down there in that pit stall. Look at that thing. Typical Ford.
Helps to shut it off.
Let's take some of those dude wipes and just throw it in the engine bay.
So Chris Klein stays out on this pit stop cycle, or this caution for that matter. Kind of gambling that, well, I don't need fuel. Going to try and pick up some track position, but let's keep a close eye here on the 51 for the restart. Got to watch the wheel spin there. Vincent Short running in the position directly behind the 51. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Peyton Wagoner.
Is he going to have an extra set of tires for not stopping here, or does everybody have another set?
I think he'll have an extra set.
Interesting. But yeah, wheel spin here will be pretty sketchy.
Green.
Good launch for the 51.
Quite the difference on pace here with laps on those tires. So let's see, Bobby around the outside makes it look pretty easy.
So Bobby Jr. back to the point. Ingram loose off of 2. He straightens it out. Oh, but Alan DeFries back and straightaway into the fence by himself. And he'll tow. Will stay green.
Classy move there by Allen.
Chris Klein free-falling through the field. He's already down to 4th as Chris Lannis has a near miss at the back of the pack. Oh, and Nicholson turns down into the 03. Nicholson's going to go around.
Yellow, yellow.
I don't think Matt saw him, Zach. I think that's all there was to that.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. It's good for Will Jones as stacks the field back up. He did pass a couple trucks, so he's going to be a little bit closer to the front of the field and have him bunched up again.
So we watched the 7 of Matt Nicholson. They're 3 wide. Lannis on the bottom. Lannis had a moment off of turn 4. I think Nicholson thought he was further back, clearly, than he was, and the spotter didn't communicate. So working our 5th caution of the afternoon, Bobby Hamilton Jr. out in front again, was able to get clear around 51 of Chris Klein, who was out on old tires. Caution coming out pretty quickly right after the restart, so we'll line them up again, try it another time. This time it'll be Bobby and Vincent Short on the front row. Peyton Wagoner, Josh Ingram in the second row, Chris Klein, Brian Rose in row 3. Zach, Will Jones is going to restart in the 8th position, right where he started.
Yeah, and it didn't take him long to get to the front at the beginning of this race, so
He was
we
there.
know he can do it.
He was there before we got to the stage. That was 35 laps. We're going to be right about that amount of time to go. We go back green, a little bit less.
And a lot of the strong trucks in this field tonight that he had to pass that first time are all pretty much wrecked.
They gone.
So if you're Bobby here, Steve, you just want to get gone.
Yeah, I think you're going to see some very good pace out of Bobby Hamilton Jr. right out of the gate here. He wants to get clear of Vincent Short. Short, definitely a threat here. He's an aggressive driver. He's shown speed tonight. He's been up in the top 5 the majority of the evening. I think he wants to get as far away from the rest of the field as he can. He's going to do it in a hurry.
Green flag.
Good launch for Bobby. I think maybe a late shift for Vincent Short as he opens the door to Peyton Wagoner. Short up the racetrack. He'll lose 2 spots. Gaggle of trucks behind him. Chris Klein, though, jumps back up into P3 on the old tires. Brian Rose getting aggressive, throwing it in there, 3 wide. Brian Rose in the middle, Ingram up top, Will Jones on the low side.
Like we're going to see Will Jones bombing in here in turn 1. Watch this.
hold my beer. Rose gets clear, so does Will Jones. Jones will pick up 2 for the price of 1, so move to 46 into the 5th spot, and Frank Griffith goes around.
Caution's out.
Will that draw a caution?
One thing for sure, everybody on the racetrack will be pissed off at somebody else on the racetrack before this race is over with.
Steve. And look at the ground that Will Jones made up there.
Jones up to the 5th spot when the yellow comes out. He'll restart in the 3rd row.
And the biggest part of that is that he's going to be on the bottom row where the leader's going to dictate it. He's going to get a better start.
Let's see what happened here to Frank Griffith just a moment ago. He saw most of it live. 54 truck on the bottom of the racetrack alongside Vincent Short, Chris Klein there up in the top lane. And just got on that power a little too soon. Zach comes around on him. Almost had it driven out of it. Swaps it over.
You can see that same kind of tank slap that we saw from Corey Bigley earlier. It's just how hard it is to catch that truck once you're sliding.
So, Zach, at this point, I think it's pretty safe to say Will Jones has recovered from that issue, running out of fuel. Still has some work to do, but he runs in that 5th position, definitely within striking distance, but he's got to get there quick. We know Bobby Hamilton Jr. has been fast all night long, really his closest competition to the 46. How much tire is the 46 going to burn up before he gets there?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he's going to have to work to do it. He's going to have Chris Klein on the old tires in front of him, which is probably not going to help the cause. But between Chris Klein and Vincent Short, they're both up 13 spots in this race from their starting position, so they don't want to just move over and let this guy by. I think Will's going to have to race it out here pretty hard.
Doubled back up here on the back straightaway, ready to go back green. 6th caution of the afternoon. Front row, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Peyton Wagoner. Row 2, Chris Klein, Vincent Short. And in the 3rd row, it's Will Jones and Brian Rose. We talked about wheel spin the last couple of restarts. Let's watch the 51 again. He's out there on the oldest tires of the group. I'm actually kind of surprised, Zach, he didn't take the opportunity to put those tires on. I know we haven't run a lot of green flag, but you're not going to get a lot of use out of them if you wait till too late in this race to pick them up, given that we got 15 trucks on the lead lap.
Yeah, and without being the leader, he can't start it, so he's going to try to time it with Bobby and hopefully doesn't spin him here. Yeah. Huge stack up on the bottom there.
Not a great restart for Will Jones. Might have been cautious of the 51. Now looking to go 3 wide. In between Short and Klein, the door closes. 23 laps to go. Hamilton out to the race lead again, but Will Jones flashes by Vincent Short and Chris Klein, so move Jones to the 3rd spot. Stephen Luttrell back in contention. Where did he come from? He's up to the 5th spot.
Man, and that truck's looking awfully clean, Steve.
Luttrell, the pole sitter tonight, got caught out in somebody else's problem earlier on in the race, took some right front damage, pretty significant right front damage, but got it repaired. Almost might have broken it better here as he runs in the 4th position. Cole Ansley in the chat says, lick the stamp and send it. Will Jones doing just that.
That'd be a perfect thing for Will if he gets another caution here. I know that 8 truck's going to be pretty hard to pass for him.
Meanwhile, speaking of sending it, Bobby Jr. runs the fastest lap of the race this last time by, 30.21 seconds.
Wow. Yeah, that's over a 10th faster.
Jones within a truck length and a half, maybe 2 from Peyton Wagoner here for the second spot. 20 laps to go. There is definitely time, Zach.
46 truck, fastest truck on track last time by.
By almost a tenth.
He's got to make short work of this, though.
Yeah, can't waste time doing this.
Oh, he can't stay beside this 8 truck and get his tires hot doing it. He's going to be losing time and burning the stuff up here. He's just going to have to get a better exit and then dive it in and try to do a slide job if need be. Ooh, 8 truck's big time loose, though. That'll help.
Angry Chef Racing in the chat says, Luttrell running a Golden Chef Speed Shop setup. As the builder, I was nervous. Well, that setup put him on P1 starting position here tonight. I think he would have been a contender here in the top 3 all race long if it weren't for getting caught out in somebody else's mistake. But still running in the 4th position. A solid afternoon for Stephen Luttrell for sure.
Yeah, just makes you wonder how he'd be racing right now if he didn't have that giant wreck. Because, I mean, I think he took more damage than anybody on that big wreck we saw early. But to be in P4, that's really, really good.
It'll be 17 laps to go the next time across the stripe. Bobby Jr. back to the straightaway. There it is, 17 left. Wagoner and Jones second and third, but Bobby continuing to stretch his lead over second place. Colt Hansley says, cue the Jaws music. I don't know, Colt. He's mired behind the 8 truck right now. I don't know if it's just a matter of does he have a long enough run for that truck to really come back to him? Will's been a long run truck all night long, and I just don't know that we got a long enough run for it to be as much of a benefit unless he gets clear of the 8 the next couple of laps. He's going to have his hands full.
Yeah, and all the meanwhile, they are losing big time to Bobby Hamilton.
Bobby's out 2 seconds plus now over the 8. Jones faster than Wagoner the last time by, but he's got to be considerably faster than the 8 to make that pass right now. Peyton running a very defensive race right now. It's paying off for him for the time being. Wagoner and Jones qualified right near each other. Wagoner was in the 9th position. Jones was 8th to start this race, so they have similar pace. I think Jones is running out of time here. Bobby Jr. out 2.4 seconds over this battle. Bobby Jr. looking for his first win of this season. He's had 3 top 5s and 5 top 10s so far. Would love to notch that win column. It'll be 10 laps to go the next time by for the driver of the H&H Unlimited, number 25. Little loose on exit for Bobby there. Still ran a 30.99.
Yeah, it just looks like Peyton is running fast enough to stay ahead of Will. Looks like their pace is just too equal for Will at this point.
Wagoner about 2/10 quicker than Jones the last time by, so I don't know if just Will Jones' truck was set up for the long run in clean air, because it seems like Wagoner is starting to stretch the gap a little bit. Jones takes a little bit back this time across the line, but not enough to make it matter. 9 laps to go. Chris Klein, meanwhile, has fallen back to the 12th position on those older tires. He'd love to see a caution right about now.
Oh, you're not kidding.
The advantage growing for Bobby now, 3.4 seconds. I think all is lost here for Will Jones unless they catch a caution. Jones taking a look to the outside, doesn't able to get alongside the 8 machine. He closes the door off turn 4. 6 more laps for Bobby Hamilton Jr. So Zach, if you're Will Jones in this instance, are you just trying to say, well, now it's time to take some more points. I got to pick up this second spot. I got to at least get to P2. Never mind trying to run down Bobby at this point.
Yeah, I'm thinking that P2 looks a heck of a lot better than P3. But I mean, it's, you know, now that you got some laps on the tires, you can see his setup's kind of coming alive here.
Jones to the outside of Peyton Wagoner. Stephen Luttrell now closing the gap as these two fight it out for second. Oh, in the fence goes Will Jones.
Yeah, looks like he just kind of committed to the gas a little early there, but now it's going to cost him P3.
Stephen Luttrell, the pole sitter, now fighting it out for a top 3 finish here with 4 laps to go as Bobby crosses the stripe. Second, third, and fourth all in frame. Brian Rose running 5th, Vincent Short 6th, Drew Blaze 7th. Bettini in 8th, Ingram 9th, Corey Bigley running in the 10th spot.
Yeah, he might have got lucky with that wall strike last lap. This truck doesn't look too bad. It's a pretty good hit.
Broke the momentum considerably. That's what's allowed Stephen Luttrell to get alongside. But he was just pushing the truck too hard, Zach. He was really trying to stay alongside Peyton Wagoner there. Just wasn't able to do it. Wagoner's going to love to see the battle out the rear view between Luttrell and Jones.
Yeah, to pretty much secure his P2 finish.
And every inch of the racetrack being used by Will Jones right now, trying to hang there for at least third. Luttrell doing all he can to take it away. Missed the entry just a bit, Luttrell did. Slides up the racetrack. If they didn't trade paint, it was as close as you can get. 2 laps to go for Bobby Jr.
I can almost hear Brian Rose yelling out the window, "Come on, boys, fight it out."
More contact between Luttrell and Jones. Luttrell gets clear off of turn number 2. Maybe not. Jones battling back. Now he's clear. Meanwhile, Bobby Jr. off turn number 4, looking for the white flag. Final lap here from New Hampshire. One more to go for the number 25 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro of Bobby Hamilton Jr. One of 2 dominant trucks here tonight. It was him and Will Jones. Jones ran out of gas before he could get to the pit box, lost almost a whole lap. Wasn't able to get caught back up. Will likely finish in the top 5, but out of turn number 4 for the final time, Bobby Hamilton Jr. looking for the checkered flag, and he will win the Musket 150. Wagoner comes home second. Stephen Luttrell will take third place honors. Will Jones, tough end to his day, will settle for 4th. Brian Rose coming home in 5th. Oh, and Luttrell and Jones come together after the checkered flag. Not a happy camper behind the wheel of the 46.
Luttrell ends that.
It's like somebody set a compass on top of the 25 to do those donuts. So Bobby parks it on the start-finish line. That's a wrap here from New Hampshire. We're going to step aside, get a break out of the way. We'll have our top 3 in the booth after this. Stay with us. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the Musket 150 in the books, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. takes it to victory lane for the first time this season. Dominant performance out of the 25 after troubles with the 46 of Will Jones. Let's see what Bobby has to say about it. Bobby Hamilton Jr. It's Steve and Zach in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, bud.
Bobby, congratulations, man. First win on the season from a fourth-place starting position. Seemed like you and Will Jones were the class of the field here this afternoon. Will had his problems with running out of gas. Wasn't able to run you back down, but were you saving a little bit there? You seemed a whole lot faster in the last run of this race.
Yeah, well, I just kept making adjustments, and Will is one of the best ones here. I've never seen nobody better than he is. And so I knew I would try to run him down to see what I needed to make a run, and then I could catch him, and then I just kind of leveled out. So I was like, okay, I need some more wedge out, I need a little bit more forward bite. And then that last run, and plus I had clean air, he was having to battle through that stuff, so, you know, but I'll take it either way I can get it. But this is what we're out to do. Win this Owners Championship for David, and one of us win the championship so far. I mean, we're on plan, so looking forward to it.
Certainly an impressive run here tonight, Bobby. We change gears a lot of times next week. Going to the road course, Watkins Glen International. Going to go left and right. I know it's not your favorite place to get things done, but if you put any work into the road course program?
We've been working on the set this week, at the end of this week, around Friday. So my agenda is not to cut grass, keep the fenders on it, and it is what it is.
Fair enough, Bobby. Well, congrats on the victory here tonight. First win of the season, man. Who do you want to shout out to?
Everybody, HH Unlimited. They work really, really hard on all these properties we have every day, every night. They're on call 24 hours, and all the staff. I mean, these people are watching and hanging out, watching all of us have a blast, trying to get more people to get on iRacing and stuff. And especially you. I was watching a thing today and talking about broadcasters and what they needed to do this, to have a successful program. And I put in there, I said, you need to look at this program. I said, this is better than anybody out here. So thank you, and Zach and everybody does this stuff for us every week. Make it a professional side like you do.
Well, Bobby, thanks for the kind words, man. Congrats again. Good luck next week at the Glen.
Thank you, man.
Bobby Hamilton Jr., a race winner here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Again, we said it here in the interview, not a big fan of the road course racing, but as long as he's not cutting grass and keeps the fenders on the thing, should have a solid finish next week. But we'll move down here to Peyton Wagoner, our runner-up from JVN Autosport, picking up a P2 finish here tonight. We'll see what he has to say. Peyton, it's Steve and Zach with Track Limits. You with us?
Yes, sir.
Peyton, congratulations, man. A 9th place start, 2nd place finish. I'd say that's a good day in just about anybody's book. Had to hold off a very hard-charging Will Jones there at the end. Was one of the fastest guys out there on the racetrack, but you got it done. You kept him behind you. What was the strategy? What was the key to success here tonight?
I guess the key to success was finished behind Bobby. I mean, there was his lights out, which Will was too. Me and him were talking about that just a minute ago. Will was a different level. Bobby said he couldn't even have probably held him off, so I'm just pumped for a P2 here.
Road course racing next week at Watkins Glen International. Definitely a change of pace, if it were, for many of the drivers in this series. Is road course racing something you kind of dread, or do you look forward to it?
I'm not a road course expert by no means. I don't think you'll see me in here next week. If you do, then I'm doing something right.
All right, Peyton. Well, a job well done here on the Magic Mile, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
I want to thank Matt and my entire team. They do a great job. Gave me some really fast cars here the past 2 weeks I raced. I missed Iowa, but past 2 weeks, 3rd and 2nd for me. So hopefully we'll see a win here soon.
All right, Peyton. Well, congrats again, man. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Peyton Wagoner, your runner-up here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Next, we'll talk to the pole sitter and 3rd place finisher from Luttrell Racing. It's Stephen Luttrell. We'll see what he has to say. Stephen, it's Steve with Zach Millett in the booth. You got us?
I do.
Steve, congratulations, man. 3rd place finish, and it was well earned. Took advantage of a mistake from Will Jones. A couple mistakes out of Will Jones tonight. Running out of fuel and then got the wall late. Gave you an opportunity to take the spot. You guys traded some paint there in the closing laps. You walk away with a 3rd place finish. A little bit of fireworks post-race between yourself and the 46. What was that all about?
He just said that I raced him dirty and knocked him out of the way, and I don't see it that way, but he threatened to wreck me the rest of the season, so we'll see if I come back.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. A third-place finish here is certainly something to be proud of. You had a very fast setup underneath you with Angry Chef Speed Shop. Put you pole position here this evening, but again, caught up in a wreck early on in the race and took the time, battled your way back after the repairs. Was the truck the same after that, or did you get it fixed?
I finally got it fixed with about, I don't know, it was a little after halfway. We got some cautions in there, and I was able to get the rest of it fixed. But yeah, it was a rocket ship. Golden Chef gave me a good set. Put it on the pole and just tried not to look back. But I think I burnt the right front up there on that first run. Burnt the right front up pretty good, pretty quick. So everybody got around me. But I learned from it and started pinching the corners and getting it loosened up, and yeah, it was a rocket.
All right, Steve. Well, a job well done here this afternoon. P1 to P3. A solid finish to wrap things up here at the Magic Mile. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Oh, I got to thank my dad for being on the box. My mom, my brother, my whole family, my wife, and my kids, and everybody out there watching, and Golden Chef Speed Shop for the set.
All right, Steve. Well, congrats again. Thanks for talking to us. Maybe we'll see you next week at the Glen.
Yep, I'll see you there.
Steve Luttrell, third place finisher here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That'll do it for the interview portion of tonight's show. Let's take a look here at our race results. We talked to Bobby Hamilton Jr., Peyton Wagoner, Stephen Luttrell. That was your top three. Will Jones, Zach, I got to say, still an impressive run to finish top five after running out of gas at that caution. Brian Rose was fifth. Drew Blaze was sixth. Seventh went to Vincent Short, a solid return for the 15. Dominic Bettini was eighth. Josh Ingram comes home in the ninth spot. Corey Bigley, after a win last week, will finish 10th. Frank Griffith was 11th. Chris Klein comes home 12th. Austin Grewell was 13th. Ken Couch, 14th. Chris Lannis was 15th. Jason Steptoe finishes 16th. Tough night for David Bradford, who finished 17th, 2 laps down. Matt Nicholson was 18th. Cameron Hagerman comes home in the 19th spot. Alan DeFries was 20th. 21st finisher was Mike Fahey. Out of this one early, unfortunately, 61 laps down. Mark Truxell, 22nd. Keenan Kimber, who was fast early as well, 23rd. Rodney Roberts, 24th. And Chris Mathis, I think he was the race admin here tonight. He'll take 25th place honors, even though he didn't race. Zach, I don't know. What was your take on tonight, man? I like this place. I don't know if it's just because it's a Northeast track and it's something I've been to a couple of times for modified races, O'Reilly Series races and such. But these guys in PSRA, they put on a decent show here tonight, too.
Yeah, no doubt there. This league always puts on a heck of a show. Great group of drivers. Love watching these guys race each other. It's always super tight and clean. I don't know, man. Maybe it is just because it's a Northeast place. Kind of trying to plan on going here this year for real. So see if we can make that happen. But man, I don't know. I hate it for Will Jones to not be real fast and get the win, but heck of a comeback for him. Heck of a race from Bobby Hamilton Jr. I mean, I loved what he said too, Steve. You know, like he felt like he wasn't the fastest coming in, but he kind of stayed right behind Will, kind of figured it out, and adjusted accordingly. I mean, he did everything he had to do, and he comes away with the W.
It's definitely a little advantage that Bobby has in his pocket, driving these things in the real world in the past. He kind of knows what each change is going to do to the truck over the course of a run and so on and so forth. So it's definitely helpful. It might explain his pace there at the end of the race. He was fast to begin with and just seemed to get faster there at the end. I don't necessarily expect the greatest things out of him next week at the Glen. He kind of said the same thing. Doesn't want to be out there cutting grass and wants to keep the fenders on the race truck. But that's half the battle at some of these road courses. Staying between the white lines, not putting the car off course. You'll have a good day if you can just do those two things. But it's going to be a fun one for sure. Again, I want to remind everybody that is a tape-delayed broadcast. I'm traveling for work Sunday through, I believe, Thursday morning. I make my way back to the upstate New York area. We'll try to do the tape delay Thursday night. And the 0X Strategy Series also will be delayed that week as well. They run typically on Tuesdays at Talladega. We'll try to run that one, I believe, Saturday afternoon the following weekend. So that'll do it for us here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Zach, thanks for joining us here in the booth, and hopefully we'll have Zach in the booth for the Glen here next week as well. Congratulations, Bobby Hamilton Jr. picking up the win here tonight. We'll see you guys next time.